Hello class, it's wonderful to have you again. Thank you for joining me in my video. In this week's discussion, we get to go over the ICF core competencies and what we observed between the life coaching session of Coach Sheba and Coachy Carl. Particularly, what we'll look at is what went well as far as the core competencies and what could be worked on. Finally, we'll take a look at what a shorter session looks like and my understanding of what it does as far as creating the session. So to just jump into it, what I think Sheba did very well is utilize core competency 3, which is establishing and maintaining agreements. Particularly in here, what I found as an element that really propelled the session forward was her ability to partner with Carl. She partnered with Carl to establish a plan and a goal together with Carl. She also partnered with Carl to reconfirm what accomplishments would take place in the session. Additionally, a core competency that went well was core competency 4, cultivating trust and safety. What I found very special about this session was Sheba was able to adapt to the type of language and style that Carl was using. The way that he perceives information, the way that he solidifies what would be the goal in this session is to find it through metaphors. And his ability to work with the metaphor and the language that he was using, I feel like Sheba really did adapt and move towards a more comfortable style of communication and more language that was appropriate in that kind of dialogue between them. She also was very receptive to what he was presenting in the session and acknowledged that, and even let him know that he was doing a wonderful job. Finally, what I think that went well was she evoked awareness. She asked many questions. She even asked about his experiences, and she continuously worked on the progress that they were making together. Finally, what I think could be worked on was maintaining presence. And I only say this because of the moment where Carl's phone rang, and at that moment, she had just shared something with him, and he did apologize and ask for her to restate it. But in this present moment, instead of having the orientation, the presence that she had previous before that phone rang, her body language was kind of slumped like this, and then she restated the question in a short form instead of the way that she had previously. And I kind of feel like that was a little taken aback, especially watching it multiple times. I kind of noticed that, and the core competency 5, maintaining presence, is to manage our emotions. And even though it wasn't very explicitly drawn back, it was still something that I noticed. Beyond that, talking about the session being shorter, I think it was a great way to have the session be very concise, especially with like the language, the speech, the dialogue, everything was in order. Sheba really let it be led by Carl, and additionally, it seemed like Carl was very prepared and understood what it was, especially as far as the time and what needed to happen within that time. So I think having a short session in this regard really works when people are more prepared or willing to dive into things immediately without having to do some self-discovery, even though there is self-discovery, without having to do too much of that, which would take a lot of the time away from a more meat and potatoes kind of session. So these are just my perspectives and opinions and things that I've observed. I'm curious to know what you guys have, and thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.